guys, you're welcome to my channel. It's me, Fatima A. Yusuf, and today I'm going to show you guys how I use 3 yards to make this two-piece. You can use Ankara, you can use Adira, you can use crepe, plain crepe, floral crepe, anyone you want, but I'm using a floral crepe here. Since it's two-piece, you can rock the top in different ways. You can rob the skirt using anything. You can actually use a trouser like the ones that I saw people using baggy trouser for it, but I didn't want to use trouser for mine. I was thinking of skirt, so I was thinking of straight skirt, and then I made this A-line skirt from the 3 yards. Right, for the trouser, I'll drop a link in the description box where you can see how to make trouser. So you can actually use trouser in place of this skirt using the 2 yards, because I used 2 yards for the skirt and 1 yard for the top, plus the excess that was left for the skirt. So hi guys, my name is Fatima Yusuf. On this platform I share what sewing tutorials. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's get to it. So I have 3 yards of fabric here, like I told you guys, right? I removed 2 yards, split it into 2, and then fold it each one. I removed 1 inch for my zipper allowance. Then I place the second one on it. That will serve as my front and back piece, right, like we normally do. Oh, for the skirt, I cut the band together. I didn't cut the band separately. I want my band to be 2 inches by when I'm done, so I'll be marking 4 inches from the upper part, right? I'll mark 4 inches. I'll use my ruler to just mark a straight line, right? So I use my tape. Get your ruler and mark a straight line, so that will be for your band, right? Good. So after doing that, I have to measure my full length. How do you measure your length of your skirt? This is what you are going to do. Okay, I think I was trying to measure my waist first, so I repeated my waist divided by 4, my waist measurement divided by 4. I marked it, then I now added 2 inches allowance. I did not include that 1 inch that is on that back piece, because that's for our that's zipper allowance, right? So I've done that. Now for your skirt length, right, you know that I said I want my band to be 2 inches, so I'll be taking my 2 inches up, then I'm going to now measure my full length, right? But if you want it flowy, I will have just measured my normal length from that line. At the end, it wasn't as long as I thought it was going to be. It's as if I'm getting taller. I don't even understand anymore, because I was using 60 before, but I feel like 60 now, they are short for me, my gown. I don't know. So now from that, your waistline, you just take a slant line to meet the down part. The way you cut, the way you normally do your A-line gown. So that was the method I used here, right? Although I didn't have enough fabric, I wish I had 2.5 yards. It would have been wider for me, and I will have used the pockets I cut out. So I said to cut out a cut together pockets when I saw that there was fabric left. Unknowing to me that it was not going to work out, I cut out the pockets, but afterwards, when I was done stitching, I cut it off because it was tight around the hip area. That was because the fabric was not much. It wasn't enough, So for the pockets, I went down by 1 inch from that line, that waistline. I went down by 1 inch. Then I marked my sleeve opening 6 inches for people that want to use pockets in case you have enough fabric. So I'll just use my freehand to trace out my pocket shape, and that was what I did in case you want to use pockets. But if you're using pocket, you need to have more fabric. Then when you want to use pockets to be sure that it's going to work out, this is what you do. Measure your hip line on this skirt, and then measure the wideness you have after you've already formed that your slant line to know if the pocket will be very free enough. You understand? But for this particular one, it was very tight around my hip. Even afterwards, after removing the pocket, it was still tight. So that was why. But if I had enough fabric, I felt like it would have been better. I'll try that one of these days. I'm thinking of trying it like 2.5 yards or 3 yards. Then I'll do the cut together pocket. I'll show you guys. So you can draw your curve line at the down part if you want. But I didn't do that in this case. But if you want, you can do it. It's an A-line skirt. You understand? So I'm done cutting, right? So now the next thing I'm just going to do is I'm going to fold in my band allowance for both. The back is 2 pieces, the front is 1 piece. So I drew the 4 inches on the back piece. So I'll use that one as a guide. So what I'll just do is I'll just fold in the band, then I'll stitch. And like I said, I want my band to be 2 inches when I'm done, so I followed that, and that's what I did. For the back, I did it separately since we have 2 pieces, and for the front, I just did 1. You understand? So that's what I did. So stitches will show at the wrong face and also at the right face. So that's what I did. I didn't add gum stay, but maybe you can add it to make it stand out well. So I'm done stitching the band here for both sides, and then for the back piece, I joined the 2 pieces together. I considered that my the length my zip will take, I use a loose stitch, then I top stitch, and I use tight stitch for the rest of the part. So that's what I'm trying to show you guys here. I used 9 inches for my zip, then the rest I used tight stitch. So now I just went ahead to join the skirts together. You know, you measure your waist measurement, divide by 2, and then you take out the remaining allowances. So I wanted it to be very tight at the waist area, right? So instead of what I used 7.5, I had to use 14 inches at the end for front. And I ironed the sewing, the stitches I did at the middle, at the back piece. I ironed it so that when I want to impute my zip, it's going to be easy for me. So now I'm going to measure what I have around the waist here, right? Like I told you, measure what you have around you, then you divide your own waist by 2. So this is what I had 21 inches, and I wanted my hip to be 15 inches in front and back instead of about 15.5 or 16, but I wanted it very tight. So I had to remove about 33 inches on both sides because I wanted it tight, or 2.5. So I just stitch in this manner. I'm going to show you guys. Okay, so this was how I stitch in this manner. I'll show you guys after I was done stitching. This was it after stitching, right? So this was what I did. You watch. I'm going to just show you the direction I stitched. So in case you're doing a cut together pocket with enough fabric, you stitch in this manner also. And I hope you guys understand that to do cut together pockets, you need to have enough fabric. Even an A-line gown, you know, your A-line needs to be very free at the down part. So I was done stitching. I already opened up my the back that I left for the zipper, and I'll just go ahead to stitch my zipper to the skirt. And voila, my skirt is ready. I am the down part, and that's the end of the skirt. So after I was done doing that, I went to try on the skirt, and I didn't like the way the pocket was on me because it was tight. It was not free around the hip area. So I decided to just cut it off. So that's what I'm showing guys. I'm going to cut it off, and I just stitch it again, and that was all for the skirt, and it came out nice. But I wish I had like 2.5 yards of fabric. I'll have done that. And like I said, for these 2 pieces, you can use trouser instead of skirt. So 2 yards would be okay for trouser for me, safe. But I didn't want trouser, that was why. But in case you want to make trouser with yours, it's all good. I have a tutorial on trouser. I'll put the link in the description box, right? So after I was done with the skirt, then I'll go ahead with the top. So now I have 1 yard, and then the pieces I cut out from the down part of my skirt, the skirt length, right? So the 1 yard, I'm going to fold it in such a manner that the back will be shorter than the front, because it's a crop top in the front while the back will be longer. So that's how it's an high-low top, crop top. So you can cut it like that. So you determine where you want your crop top to be. Initially, I think I used about 20-21, but later on I reduced it to 16 inches because I wanted it to be like, I felt like that would be better. So this is me. I fold it. Like you see, the front is shorter than the back. Yeah. So I went ahead to measure what I want for the front. So you measure what you want. You measure. Your might not be as long or short like mine. So like I told you guys, I measured 20. I measured 21 initially, right? Then the back was longer, so I'll fold it again into 2. So you can see the closed part is at the upper part, right? Very good. And the side is closed. One side is closed. So now I'll just measure what I want for my back piece, and the rest I'll be using it for pockets. We are using 3 yards here. So for the back piece, I went down, I just measured what I want to use for the back piece length, right? And I said to use 26 inches. When I'm done, I should be having like 25 or 25.5. So that's what I cut out. Right, good. So we are done folding for the back, for our top, right? So you know, for the front we have 21, and for the back we have 26 inches. Yeah, yes. So what I cut out at the down part, I'll use them for pocket later on. So now I measured the sleeve length, that's the shoulder, and it was going to be short, and I don't like short tops, short sleeve. So what I cut out from my skirt, I'm going to use it to complete the sleeve later on. So now I'll just go ahead, I'll measure my sleeve opening, what I want as sleeve opening at this side. I measured 10 inches, sorry. I measured 10 inches, and then in one of that 10 inches I'm going to measure in 15 inches. That will be the wideness of my top. 15 is actually okay. 16, you can divide your bust by 4, then you add about 5 to 8 inches to it, so that it can be very free. So I took that straight down, right? So I have 15 from that my bust line, 15 downward. So that's just it. So I just mark a straight line here, and then the armpit will be a little bit curvy. So that's what I did here. And then I'll just go and mark the neckline. So for the neckline, the width, I use 3 inches for the width. 3 inches for the width, right? And then the front neckline would be like that scrub. Is it scrub they call it? I don't really know the name. Please, if you know the name they call that neckline, just let me know. So I marked 1.5 inches depth. That's for the back. I marked round neckline. Then I went down 6 inches depth. You know, I'm always using 6 inches when it involves like a V neckline. So inside that 6 inches inward, I'm going to mark 2 inches. Initially I marked 1, but later I increased it to 2. So I'm going to mark that 2 inches. From that 6 inches, I'll mark 2 inches down, right? And then I'll form like a V, but not a completely V. The V neckline will be stopping at that 2 inches. So this was where I was marking 2 inches. So I'll mark that 2 inches, but I'll stop on the front piece. I'm not going to extend that my 2 inches to the down piece, the back piece, sorry. So your 2 inches is only for your your front piece. So please, so that 2 inches, I'll just, you see, I marked the V to stop at that 2 inches. Then that from that 2 inches, you take a straight line. Right, I have about 3 videos doing this type of neckline. Yeah, if you've been following me on this YouTube. So we have come to the end of part 1. I'll post the part 2 after this. I don't want the video to be too long. That's why, you guys know me, I don't like long videos. So see you guys in part 2.